I wasn't trying to get revenge. Honestly, I just wanted my money back. But 5 years after my landlord cheated me out of thousands, I walked past my old apartment at 3 a.m., saw the lights still on, and realized something was very, very wrong. The door was open. The place was destroyed. And what I found inside ended up costing him an entire year of rent, massive fines, and his reputation. If you've ever been disrespected, underestimated, or treated like you didn't matter, this story is going to hit different. So hit like, subscribe, and settle in, because today's Reddit revenge story proves one thing. Sometimes you don't chase revenge. Karma just asks you to press send. I lived in that apartment for over 10 years. 20-story high-rise. Quiet building, good neighbors, fair rent. And the landlord? Well, he lived right next door. But you'd barely know it. He wasn't friendly, he wasn't warm, he wasn't even particularly polite. But he had one rule. Don't bother me unless the building is on fire. And honestly, I loved that. Shower head broke, I replaced it myself. Fridge died, bought a new one. His policy was simple. Take it out of rent, I trust you. No receipts needed, no inspections, no drama. For 10 years, it worked perfectly. I treated the place like my home, because it was my home. Then, one day, everything changed. Not because of him. Because of his wife. Apparently, she decided the apartment could make more money as an office space, which wasn't even legal in our building. Suddenly, after a decade of peace, I got the message. They wanted me out. Fast. I didn't fight it. I agreed to move 1 month early if they returned my deposit plus 1 month's rent. Simple deal. Professional ending. Or so I thought. The moment I moved out, their personalities flipped like a switch. The same landlord who once said, "I trust you," now stood in my empty apartment with a clipboard. Cold eyes, tight smile, and a long, very long list. "The place is ruined," his wife said. Ruined. 10 years of careful living reduced to that word. They pointed at everything. A tiny chip in a tile, a nail hole from a picture frame. Window screens they claimed were old, even though they were newer than when I moved in. Yes, my cats had scratched the leather legs of the dining table. Yes, a pull-up bar left 2 dents in a hardwood kitchen door frame. Normal wear after a decade of living. But suddenly, every tiny imperfection became evidence against me. This was the busiest season of my job. I barely slept, but I still tried to cooperate. I paid to re-leather the table legs, patched wall holes, fixed screens, repaired tiles. I ran back and forth between work and the apartment, carrying tools, paint, supplies, sweating, exhausted, desperate to finish. Because I trusted him. Because I believed fairness still existed. I even told him, just deduct the doorframe repair from the deposit. He nodded. Everything seemed resolved. I thought I'd done enough. I thought we were good. Then came payment day. He owed me 24,000 RMB, roughly 2,500 pounds. He handed me an envelope. Inside, 5,000. I stared at the bills, waiting for the rest. He crossed his arms. I still need money to fix things. I reminded him gently. I fixed almost everything. We agreed on deductions. His answer? If you don't accept this, I give you nothing. That moment felt physical, like the air left my lungs. 10 years of trust. Gone. I wanted to argue. I wanted to yell. But exhaustion won. I took the 5,000, walked away, and carried that heavy, bitter feeling we all know. The feeling of being used. I'm not a gossip.
I avoid drama. But one evening, while venting to an older neighbor, I mentioned what happened. Just once. Quietly. She listened. Nodded. Sympathetic smile. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. Because within days, everyone in the building knew. The landlord's wife, once the queen of the building's mommy's group, suddenly found conversations stopping when she entered rooms. Neighbors avoided them. Elevator rides turned silent. People remembered their own complaints, their own frustrations. And slowly, their reputation cracked.
The unexpected twist? Here's the part they didn't expect. They thought I was moving to another city. They thought they'd never see me again. But life had other plans. A work opportunity appeared, and I rented another apartment in the same building. Now we passed each other regularly. Awkward nods, avoided eye contact. They had to live with the person they cheated every single day. 1 year later, a year passed. Then the building office called me with a question about floor heating, something I understood from living there so long. During the conversation, curiosity hit me. I checked my old unit. The door frame? Still dented. Nothing fixed. I called him. "Hey, you never repaired anything." His response? "Mind your own business." Click. And that's when realization settled in. He hadn't needed repair money. He'd simply kept it.
5 years went by. Life moved on. The anger faded into background noise. Until one night at 3 a.m., walking home, something caught my attention. My old apartment. The lights were on. At 3 a.m. Strange. I walked closer. The door was slightly open. Inside? Chaos. Cabinets ripped open, walls covered in writing, trash everywhere. Spray-painted words, "Lazy Landlord." And there it was, the kitchen door frame. Still dented. Exactly the same. 5 years later. Proof he never fixed anything. Not one thing. He had stolen my money. And apparently, I wasn't the only one. By this time, smartphones were everywhere. Our building had a massive group chat, nearly 500 residents. I stood in that destroyed apartment holding my phone, heart racing. Not angry, not even emotional, just clear. I took photos, lots of them. Then I posted them in the group chat. No insults, no accusations, just pictures. And one simple message. Looks like repairs were never done. I pressed send. The response was instant. Messages flooded in. One neighbor, he kept my deposit too. Another posted screenshots. Someone uploaded videos of tenants smoking in hallways. Photos of garbage leaking outside the unit. Parents complained about tenants swearing in front of children. Apparently, he'd been illegally renting the apartment as office space, cycling through tenants, keeping deposits again and again. The destroyed apartment? Former tenants finally snapping after being cheated. Police were called. Building management got involved. Authorities stepped in. And suddenly, everything unraveled. The landlord faced fines for creating a public disturbance, damaging community living standards, illegally converting a residence into office space. And here's the best part. Building management refused to allow repair crews inside until investigations finished. The apartment sat empty, destroyed, unusable, for nearly 6 months. The fine stacked up, the lost rent piled higher, all because of greed. He took about 1.5 months' rent from me and ended up losing an entire year's income. I didn't scream. I didn't celebrate. I didn't even confront him. I just watched karma do what arguments never could. Every time we crossed paths after that, he looked away first. And honestly, that was enough. Not revenge, not victory, just balance restored. Sometimes people think small acts of dishonesty don't matter, that they can cheat one person and move on. But communities remember. Truth spreads, and sooner or later, actions collect interest. Karma doesn't rush, but it always sends the bill. If this story satisfied your sense of justice, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying karma moment you've ever witnessed? And if you love emotionally charged revenge stories just like this one, subscribe now, because the next story might be even crazier. See you in the next video.